Let's do the questions which are given in your activity part on page number 6. These questions have to be solved also along with me when I am explaining you. Activity 1.4 on page 6. First question. How are isotopes of different elements placed in modern periodic table? Now, modern periodic table have isotopes which the Mendeleevs did not have. Why Mendeleev did not have? Because he didn't know what are isotopes. That time isotopes were not known much and he could not place it later on. So isotopes are the elements which have the same atomic number but different atomic mass. So in the periodic table which was modern or long form which we know that it is placed according to its atomic number, which was an anomaly in the case of Mendeleev. What Mendeleev had done, he had arranged the elements according to the increasing atomic masses, not the number. So in this modern periodic table, isotopes got a proper place. This is your answer, that isotopes were placed in the modern periodic table because of their atomic numbers, not because of their atomic masses. Question 2 of 1.4 activity. What should be the position of hydrogen in the modern periodic table and why? Now, the hydrogen atomic number is 1 and it has similar properties with 17 group also. So it can be placed both in 1 as well as in 17 group. But since the hydrogen has the capability of reacting with alkali metals and halogens, it can be placed with both 1 and 17. But it is more easily placed according to its atomic number. So the modern periodic table has placed hydrogen as the first element because of its atomic number. Third question. Write the name, symbol and electronic configuration of first 10 elements. Now all of you can take out your modern periodic table which is given on page number 5 and you can see the first 10 atomic numbers. First 10 atomic numbers you should learn. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. These are the names which you should learn. First 20 atomic numbers with their names of the elements should be learned by heart. Now let us see what are the electronic configuration of first 10. Let me write first the atomic numbers, name of the element and electronic configuration. Now atomic number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Now in the question it is written first 10. Now first 10, first is hydrogen. So you can just say it is hydrogen. I am going to write only the symbols. You have to write the same thing along with me. Then second is helium, He. Then third is lithium, Li. Then fourth is, you can see and compare in your book the modern periodic table. Fourth is beryllium, Be. Fifth is boron, B. Sixth is carbon, C. Seventh is nitrogen, N. Then 8 is oxygen, O. 9 is fluorine, F. And 10 is neon. These are the first 10 elements having the atomic number 1 to 10. Now I know the atomic numbers, I know the element name. Now how is the electronic configuration? If atomic number is 1, electronic configuration only is 1. What is electronic configuration? Electronic configuration is the way how the electrons are distributed in the shells or the orbits. First shell can have maximum 2. Second shell can have maximum 8 electrons. Third shell can have 18 electrons. Fourth shell can have 32 electrons. I am talking about maximum. So we have to arrange according to the atomic numbers. What does this atomic number show us? The atomic number shows the number of protons present inside the nucleus of an atom. Now every atom will have in center nucleus and the shells, right? Now if I am talking about hydrogen, one proton is present inside the hydrogen and one electron is present in the first orbit. In hydrogen there will be no second orbit. So this is the way we are seeing what is the electronic configuration of each element. Now helium have 2, that means the electronic configuration first shell will have only 2. Third, lithium, Li, lithium. So first shell will have 2, second shell will have 1. I am dividing these 3 electrons according to the rules that 2, 8, 18, 32 maximum number can come. But since I have only 3 number, so I can divide first shell has 2 electrons, second shell has 1 electron. 4 is beryllium. So how will I divide? First compulsorily I have to put 2 because the 2 electrons goes in the first shell. How many are left now? 2. So second will have 2 electrons. First shell will have 2 electrons, second shell will have 2 electrons. Boron, which has the atomic number 5. So first shell compulsorily will have 2 electrons. How I am left with now? 5 minus 2 is 3. So you can check from here also. 2 plus 1, 3. Yes, correct. 2 plus 2, 4. Correct. 2 plus 3, 5. Correct. That means we are putting properly. Carbon has 6. So first will have 2 compulsorily. Then what I am left with? 4. So carbon will have in the second shell 4. 4 electrons. 7, that is nitrogen. Nitrogen first will have 2, then it will have 5. Maximum in second shell I can get 8, so I can go on adding it. Oxygen has 8 electrons total, so I can divide it into 2 and 6. So 6 plus 2, 8. Fluorine have 9, that means atomic number 9. So I have to show first 2, what I am left with? 7. So this second shell will have 7. And 10th is neon. Neon, so 2 and 8. So this is the maximum which we get it. So first to 10 have this type of electronic configuration. Let me remind you, in between there is a nucleus of any new atom which we are talking about. These are called the shells. These shells or orbits are also given name like K shell, L shell, then M shell, N shell, it goes on. It starts from K, L, M, N. Whichever scientists have done, he started the naming of the shell from K. So K, L, M, N, like this it goes. We also say first shell, second shell, third shell, fourth shell. Shell is also called as orbit. So this is how, if I am saying first orbit has only 1, that means the first K shell will have only 1 electron. If I am saying first is having 2 and second is having 1, so I will say K is having 2 electrons, L is having only 1 electron. So this is the way when we divide it into shells, it is called as electronic configuration. Next activity will go to 1.5. Same page number 6. First question of 1.5 activity. You can also read along with me in your books. Write the electronic configuration of elements from atomic number 11 to 18. We just saw how to write the electronic configuration of 1 to 10. Now we'll see how to write the electronic configuration of 11 to 18. So I'll just write the atomic numbers 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. So I am writing the atomic numbers. Now we have to put it into different shells. That means we have to arrange them in the electronic configuration. Now 11, atomic number 11. So first shell will have 2, Then maximum second shell get can is 8. So 8 plus 2, 10. Now we are left with 1. So third shell will get 1 electron. This is the electronic configuration for atomic number 11. For 12, 2, maximum 2 in the first, the maximum 8 in the second, and then last one left over is 2. So 2 plus 8 plus 2 is 10 plus 2, 12. You have to check along with me whether we are getting the same number or not. Then 13th, 2, 8, 3. 8 plus 2, 10 plus 3, 13. 14, 2, 8, 4. 15, 2, 8, 5. 16, 2, 8, 6. So you can confirm 8 plus 2, 10 plus 6, 16. So like this you can confirm 2, 8, 7. And here 2, 8, 8. This is the electronic configuration from 11 to 18 atomic numbers. Second question is related to this. Write what similarities do you find in the electronic configuration? Now I have written the electronic configuration. What similarities do you see? The first similarity is all contain 3 shells, right? Can you see? All from 11 to 18, all elements contain 3 shells. Second similarity, first shell and second shell in all is completed as per the rule. First shell can have maximum 2, second shell can have maximum 8. So every element has same. And third similarity is actually not a similarity, it's a gradation. It grades means if the number of electrons increases from 1 to 8 in the third shell. This is a little gradation seen. So these are the similarities and the gradations. Mainly 2 similarities you are seeing. All have 3 shells, and second similarity, first 2 shells of each are completed. Question number 3 of this activity 1.5. How many valence electrons are present in sodium, aluminium and chlorine? Now out of this, which is sodium? Now this is sodium. Okay, I'll tell you 11 atomic number stands for sodium. 13, 11 atomic number stands for aluminium. And third which is asked is chlorine. So this 17 stands for chlorine. We have been asked specifically what is the number of valence electrons present in the sodium, aluminium and chlorine. Now first we have to know what is valence electron. Valence electron are the number of electrons present in the last orbit. Now in case of sodium, the last orbit is having 1. So the number of valence electrons is 1. In aluminium, the number of valence electrons is 3. And in chlorine, the number of valence electrons is 7. So whatever number is present in the last orbit, that is the number of valence electrons. Now fourth question. Write the electronic configuration of magnesium and calcium, fluorine and chlorine. Now magnesium atomic number 12, calcium atomic number 20. If I give you the atomic numbers, you can make your own electronic configuration. Now if 12 is the atomic number of magnesium, so 2, 8, 2 is the electronic configuration. Now what is the electronic configuration of calcium? It is 2, 8, 8, 8 and 8, 16, 17, 18, then 2 are left, 19, 20. So this is the electronic configuration for magnesium and calcium. What is the electronic configuration for fluorine and chlorine? Now fluorine is 9 and chlorine is 17 number. So can you tell me now how to divide it? It can be divided again 2 and 7, and this 2, 8 and 7. This is the electronic configuration for fluorine and chlorine. These two are metals and these two are non-metals, which are also called as halogens. Fifth question related to these two. Do these elements contain same number of valence electrons? Now you know what are valence electrons. The last orbit should have whatever number of electrons present in the last orbit, that is the valence electron. If I compare these two metals, you will see magnesium also contains 2 valence electrons and calcium also contains 2 valence electrons. So yes, your answer should be yes, they contain the same valence electron in case of metals also, and here also 7 and 7. Question number 6. Write the electronic configuration of boron, oxygen, sodium, aluminium, sulfur and potassium. Now I am going to give you this some time to think. Boron, what is the atomic number of boron? 5. Now this is orally I am going to do. Boron atomic number 5. So how will you divide it into electronic configuration? 2 and 3. So this is how the electronic configuration of boron can be done. Then oxygen. Oxygen atomic number 8. So 2 and 6. Then sodium, I have told you sodium is 11. So it is 2, 8, 1. Aluminium, again we had done for aluminium. It is 2, 8, 3. Then sulfur is 16. So here sulfur is 2, 8, 6. And potassium is 19. So how the 19 number will come? 2, 8, 8, 1. So this is how the electronic configuration can be done. Now activity 1.6. Classify elements from atomic number 11 to 18. I have already written 11 to 18 as metals or non-metals depending on the electrons present in the outermost shell. Now you have to see how many electrons are present in the outermost shell, which element has the capability to give out electrons, and which elements have the capability to take electrons. The metals are the elements which have the capability to give out electrons, and therefore they are called as electropositive elements. Now in this, here is it possible to give out 1 electron? Yes. So this is a metal. Here also it can give out, this is also a metal. Here also 3 electrons can be given out. It is also a metal. 4 electrons, it's very difficult to give out. It shares electrons. So it is not a metal. It shares electron. It is a non-metal. This takes electrons from someone. This also takes electrons. So based on the last digits, you can find out which are metals and which are non-metals. So first 3 are metals. And these 4 are non-metals. This is how we can find out. Come to activity 1.8 on page 7. How do you calculate valency of an element from its electronic configuration? Very interesting question. I have written the electronic configuration. I want to know, can I find the valency from this? It is very easy to find valency from this. Let us consider atomic number 11. 2, 8, 1. Now it is easy for that to give out 1 electron. Once it give out 1 electron, what it is left with? 2 and 8. That means it will become stable. So the number of electrons given out or the number of electrons taken is the valency. So here the number of electrons given out is 1. So the valency becomes 1. Here the number of electrons given out is 2. So valency becomes 2. Here the number of electrons is given out is 3. So the valency becomes 3. In this case, here sharing of electron take place. So how many shared will be required? 4. So valency becomes 4. Till here it is very easy. But now 2, 8, 5. It is very difficult to remove 5 electrons from the atom. But it is easier for the atom to take 3 electrons. So how many electrons it is taking? It is taking 3 electrons to complete its octet or the last orbit. So the number of electrons which it takes from others is the valency. So here the valency is 3 because it needs 3 electrons. So how will you find out? You will say that for 8 minus 5 is equal to 3. So this is the valency. In this case, 6 are already there. So if I say 8 minus 6 is 2. So the 2 is the valency here. Here it needs 1 electron. So what I will say? It is 8 minus 7. So it is 1. That means the valency is 1. What about this? Here 2, 8, 8. That means there is no need of giving and taking. Already it is stable. So here the valency is 0. So if you are asked, where do you find the valency 0? You will say the valency is 0 in case of inert gases, which is present in the last table or the last group, which is the group of inert gases. Second question, what is the valency of elements with atomic number 8? Now atomic number 8 can be written in the electronic configuration as 2 and 6. Now if it is having 6 electrons in the second orbit, how much it is short of? It is short of 2. So valency becomes 2. In atomic number 14, it's written there 284. How much it is short of? It is short of 4 which it shares. So the valency becomes here 4. 17, it is short of 1. It will take 1. So the valency becomes 1. And in 20, so I have shown you 20. Here what is happening? It is easier for calcium to give out 2 instead of taking 6. So here valency becomes 2. This is how the valency can be calculated. Third question of activity 1.8. How does valency vary in a period and a group? In a period, that means from left to right in a row, the valency increases from 1 to 4 and drops down to 0. This is how in a period it changes. And what about in the group? In the group, the valency remains same because the number of valence electrons remain same when you go from top to bottom. So these were the questions of activities which were given on page 6 and page 7. Now come to page 8. Activity 1.9. Some atomic radiuses are given and based on that questions are there. Atomic radius of elements of third period are given. Arrange them in decreasing order. Now decreasing order means highest one, highest radius, then little less, then little less, then little less, from the highest number to the lowest number. So how will you arrange them in the decreasing order? Which is the biggest? 160 is the biggest. So 160, that is magnesium. No, 190 is the biggest. That means first is sodium. You can write the decreasing order also. 190 is the sodium. So sodium, first I will write it is, I am writing the decreasing order. Then magnesium, that is 160. Then is aluminium, 143. Then 143. Silicon, 132. Then phosphorus, 128. Then sulfur, and then chlorine. This is the decreasing order of the atomic radii. Second question, are they arranged as in the periodic table? No, they are not arranged as in the periodic table. You can open your periodic table and see they are different. They have just randomly taken the element name and they are not placed accordingly in the periodic table. Which are the atoms of highest and lowest atomic radius? Now, highest is magnesium, sodium and then magnesium, and lowest is sulfur and chlorine. So what trend is observed in the atomic radii in a period from left to right in a period, always we see that atomic radius decreases. Now why does this decrease? Because the number of electrons are increasing. As the number of electrons increases, it gets pulled towards the nucleus, and when it gets pulled towards the nucleus size decreases. Question number 2. Atomic radius of group 17 down the group are given. Now first again arrange them in the increasing order of the atomic radii. So which increasing from small to big? Now first small one is fluorine, F. Then greater than that is chlorine, then bromine, and then iodine. These are all halogens. Are they arranged in the periodic table as it is now? No, it is not arranged that way. Which are the atoms of the highest and the lowest atomic radii? Lowest is fluorine and chlorine, highest is bromine and iodine. And what trend you can observe in the atomic radii down the group? This is all down the group. As you go from top to bottom, the atomic radius increases. Now what is the reason? Reason is because as you go from top to bottom, each shell goes on increasing. This is the reason of its increase. Now let's move on to the question which are given in the exercises on page number 9. There are various questions which we can discuss one by one. The first question is fill in the blanks. First one, the formula of chloride of metal M is MCl2. The metal M belongs to which group? Dash group. So when it is written MCl2, so this belongs to the second group. How I came to the conclusion that it belongs to second group? Why? Because MCl2, this 2 actually is the valency of M, which is cross multiplied, and so the formula is made. So you can easily identify the valency of M is 2, so it is present in the second group. Second one, dash group in the periodic table contains elements that are all gases at room temperature. So the answer is inert gases, which is present in the 18th group, the last group of the periodic table. Third one, the arrangement of elements in a group of 3 is known as dash. It is known as triads, TRIADS. Fourth one, the law used by Newlands to arrange the elements is known as Newlands law of octaves. Newlands law of octaves. Fifth one, the element Eka aluminium in Mendeleev's periodic table is known as gallium in the present or modern periodic table. GALLIUM, gallium. And sixth one, elements showing properties of both metals and non-metals are known as dash. So I had told you a zigzag method in the periodic table. Those are known as metalloids. METALLOIDS. Question number 2 gives scientific reasons. Atomic size increases down the group. Just now we discussed atomic size will go on decreasing from top to bottom as the number of shells increases as we go one group by another group down the group. Second one, metallic character decreases from left to right in a period. Now from left to right, the metals are arranged on the left side of the periodic table and non-metals are arranged on the right side of periodic table. So as you go from left side, you start with the metals and go towards the non-metals. So this is how we see the gradation. From metallic character will decrease and non-metallic character will increase. Third question gives scientific reasons. Elements in the same group show same valency. A group, as I said, in the group the number of valence electrons remains same. So if the number of valence electrons remains same, obviously the valency also remains same. Match the columns. Question number 3. First one, sodium. Sodium is a metal. Sulfur. Sulfur is a non-metal. Manganese. It is present as a transition element between third group to 12th group. It is a transition element. Cerium. It's a lanthanide. The lanthanide which is present below the periodic table, that is lanthanide. Question number 4. Answer the following questions. How could the modern periodic table remove various anomalies of Mendeleev's periodic table? Now, in the Mendeleev's periodic table, there was no place given to hydrogen. But in the modern periodic table, hydrogen was given a proper place according to its atomic number, that is first place. Second place, Mendeleev did not have place for isotopes. He could not place them properly. But since isotopes are the elements having the same atomic number, so these isotopes were present in the modern periodic table in the same block. Third, there was some anomaly in Mendeleev. What he did, the higher atomic weight was placed before the lower atomic weight. But same elements, cobalt and nickel, found a proper place in the modern periodic table because they were placed according to their atomic numbers, not the weight. The atomic number increased by 1 unit in modern periodic table. But in Mendeleev's periodic table, it was not according to atomic numbers, it was according to atomic weights or atomic masses. So it had various differences, not according to 1 unit. And in the modern periodic table, elements were placed according to their electronic configuration. But Mendeleev did not place that way. Second question. In the modern periodic table, which are the metals, non-metals and metalloids among the first 20 elements? You can refer to your atomic periodic table and we can both find out. Metals, as I said, there are metals which are placed in the first 20 atomic numbers. They are lithium, beryllium, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, potassium, calcium. And in the non-metals, you can see carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, then phosphorus, sulfur and chlorine. So these are the non-metals. Any non-metalloids present? Yes, boron and silicon are the two metalloids. You can see in your modern periodic table which is given on page number 5. Question number 3. What are the demerits of Mendeleev's periodic table? Mendeleev tried to arrange elements in a very good way, but still he had some problems or some demerits which came into highlight. The first demerit was isotopes were placed according to their atomic masses, not the atomic numbers. So it created a problem. Secondly, cobalt and nickel. Cobalt has higher atomic mass, nickel had less atomic mass, and they were placed in the wrong position. The higher was kept first and the lower was kept later on. Many elements were placed together which did not have any similarity in their properties. So that created problem later on. So these were the demerits of Mendeleev's period. Question 4. Define atomic size. How does it vary in a period and a group? Now, atomic size is the distance from the center of the nucleus of atom to the last shell. This is the atomic size or the atomic radius. And when you go from top to bottom in a group, the atomic radius goes on increasing. But when you go in a left to right in a period, the atomic size or the atomic radius goes on decreasing. Question number 5. Name 3 elements having a single electron in the outermost shell. The single electron in the outermost shell have hydrogen is there, sodium is there and lithium is there. You can write down hydrogen, sodium and lithium. Second one, name 3 elements with filled outermost shell. Now the group 18 will have total filled atomic shell, and those are helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, all these names are there. Any 3 names you can write. Third one, name 3 elements which are having 7 electrons in the outermost shell. Now we saw the similarity in the halogens, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. These are the 4 answers. You can select any 3 and write in your exam. We discussed the exercise questions. Now let me discuss with you some extra questions which may benefit you, and you may get a revision of various different types of questions which may have come in earlier papers. The first one, state Daubernier's law of triads. Now what is triad? The triad, Daubeney tried that he arranged all the elements and then he found the similar properties of three elements and arranged them in the group of 3 elements, and then he gave the law of triads. He said that the first element and the last element of these 3, if he takes the atomic masses and find the average of that, the center one will have that same average, and this was called as Daubeney's law of triads. Second question, what is Newland's law of octaves? Now Newland was another scientist. What he did, he arranged all the atomic masses in the increasing order, and then he saw that the first and the 8th element had similar properties, and then it goes on. So he gave a law of octaves and he compared them with the musical notes. That 8 ragas are there, sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. So he compared them with the elements having similar properties after every 8th element, and therefore he gave this law of octaves. This question also came in March 2015. Then we can discuss another question. What is the modern periodic law? Now only law comes to be written for 2 marks question. So answer is, the chemical and the physical properties are the periodic functions of their atomic numbers. This is the periodic law. The modern periodic law states that the chemical or the physical properties of the elements are the periodic function of their atomic numbers. And similar is the law given by Mendeleev. Mendeleev periodic law said that the physical and chemical properties of the elements are the periodic function of their atomic masses. So there is only a difference in the words mass and number. The next question, classify the elements into metals, non-metals and metalloids. This came in March 2015. Carbon. Now, carbon is a non-metal. Magnesium. Magnesium is a metal. Silicon. Silicon is a metalloid. Then sulfur. Sulfur is a non-metal. Mercury. Mercury is a metal which is only liquid metal. And arsenic. Arsenic again is a metalloid. Mention 4 types of elements of the periodic table based on the electronic configuration. Now 4 types which we learnt was normal elements, which was placed in first group, second group, 13th to 17th group. Then transition elements which were placed from third group to 12th group. Inner transition elements which were down, actinides and lanthanides. And the inert gases which were present in the last group, that is the 18th group. So these are the 4 types of elements which we studied during the modern periodic table. The next question, describe the 4 blocks of modern periodic table. As we had studied, there are 4 blocks, S, P, D and F. S block elements, that means the group 1 and group 2 of the periodic table. P block elements from 13 to A17 and 18 inert gases. D block elements from the transition elements from group 3 to group 12. And F block elements, that is the inner transition elements, they are the actinides and the lanthanides. This is how you can write it. Next question, what are periodic properties? Now the properties which show regular gradation in a group and a period, those properties are called as periodic properties. They may vary and they may show similarity after some elements. One give reason, all the elements belonging to group 3 to 12 are known as transition elements. The transition elements belong from 3 to 12. They are called as transition elements because their last 2 shells are incomplete. In normal elements, last 1 shell is incomplete, but in this case, last 2 shells are incomplete. And in case of inner transition elements, the last 3 shells are incomplete. One give reason question. Elements from the S block and the P block are called normal elements. They are called normal elements because their last orbit only is incomplete. not like the transition and the inner transition elements. So wherever there is only one last orbit incomplete, they are called as normal elements. Now one more question I am going to ask. First one, who was the first scientist to prepare the periodic table? The first scientist was Mendeleev. Actually, the proper table was made by Mendeleev, and so it was known as Mendeleev's periodic table. State the number of periods and groups in the modern periodic table. In the modern periodic table, there are 18 groups and 7 periods. How many elements are present in the 4th and the 5th period of the periodic table? The 4th and the 5th period of the periodic table are containing 18 electrons or 18 elements. First contains 2, that is the shortest. Second and third are short, that contains 8, and 4th and 5th contains 18 elements. Which column is known as the zero group? The last column, that is the 18th group, is called as a zero group, or it is also called as the inert gases group. Which period of the modern periodic table has maximum number of elements? The period which is having the maximum number of elements is the 6th period, because it contains actinides also included in it. So it contains total 32 elements. Which period in the modern periodic table is incomplete? The last period, that is the 7th period, is incomplete in the modern periodic table. Name an alkali metal in the 2nd period. The alkali metal in the 2nd period is lithium. Lithium is called an alkali metal because it can react with water to form an alkali. Name the halogen in the 2nd period. In the 2nd period, the halogen present is fluorine. When I am saying the answer, you can always check with your modern periodic table given in your textbook. Name the group in which the sodium and lithium belong to. The sodium and lithium belong to 1A group, the first group. Name the group to which magnesium and calcium belong. So magnesium and calcium belong to the 2A group, or the 2nd group. Name the element having only one shell and one electron. That is, one electron can be called as one valence electron. So the answer is hydrogen. Hydrogen has only one electron, one shell, and only one atomic number. To which period do actinides belong to? The actinides belong to 6th group and lanthanides belong to 7th group, 7th period. How many elements are there present in lanthanide and actinide series? In lanthanide there are 14 and actinide also there are 14 elements. Name any 2 elements having a single electron in the outermost shell. So hydrogen is there, lithium is there, sodium is there, potassium is there. So these are the elements which are having only single electrons in the last orbit. This question was in October exam 2014. Name any 3 non-metallic elements in the group 2. So the group 2 contains nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine. So these were some of the extra questions which can actually add up to your whole matter which we have studied. I hope you have understood the lesson and go through the modern periodic table thoroughly. Learn the names of first 20 elements with their atomic numbers. If you know the atomic numbers, you can easily write the electronic configuration. If you know what is electronic configuration, you can find out 2 things. First, how many shells are present. Second, what is the valency of that element. Valency can be found out by seeing the last orbit. So it's very easy for us to understand. For that, you should go through the modern periodic table, understand it, learn the names of first 20 elements and their electronic configuration, which may help you to know all the answers of any type of question which is asked. This is the end of lesson number 1.